My name is Aswim. I am from ManageEngine. So before I get into my topic, I just have a small thing to share with you. Remember, like those days, I remember myself, school to college, those days, 2004-5. I had two major fear in India, honestly. One is post office. The second one was bank. Remember the pink slip, white slip, blue slip, those days? The fear was like to make a DD. I was like, okay, I have to go there, I have to talk to someone, I have to do this, all these things. But thanks to all of you, that none of these kids anymore fear of all these things, right? Agree? So this is a thanks to you guys that you have moved the whole India from that era to this era, that banking is just like this. Post office, I don't have to comment on that. It will also grow, I guess. So with that, I want to introduce to my topic, full stack observability, which is very much important for this digital transformation. So how many of you have heard of this word, observability? Observability. Good one. So this observability is one thing that we focus on more nowadays, because before pandemic, if I give you this example, before pandemic, the companies who used to deal with some 10 to 20 VPN accounts suddenly started handling 600, 700 VPN accounts. Agree with me? During pandemic, everybody got a VPN account. This is a sudden change in the technology transformation. But then by 2022, they realized that no, this is not sustainable. We have to move towards SD-WAN. But how many organizations, you can tell yourself that how many organizations actually moved to SD-WAN? It's still in transition. Agree? So observability, why it is important, that the traditional way of monitoring your organization, the transactional monitoring, CPU, memory, hard drive, it's no more the reality of today, or no more going to be the reality of tomorrow. So we have to move our traditional monitoring towards something called as observability. I'll deeply explain about this topic. So a little bit about my organization. Sorry for that. So we are ManageEngine, part of Zoho Corporation. How many of you have heard of Zoho Corporation? Yeah, fair enough. Thank you. So ManageEngine is one brand of Zoho Corporation. Like ManageEngine, we have Zoho.com, the business platform, as well as we have Control and Trainer Central. So ManageEngine is focused on the enterprise IT solutions, starting from your onboarding to offboarding of an employee, onboarding to offboarding of any assets. ManageEngine helps with that. We have customers across the globe. We have, you name it, you name an organization like all of you, Zoho Corporation, you have a hand up. Like that, ManageEngine has a bigger presence. We are there in the market since 22 years now. The ManageEngine also focuses on data centers by its own. So we have data centers, 17 data centers across the globe, 2 in India, 1 in Chennai, 1 in Mumbai itself. So ManageEngine offers on-premise as well as SaaS applications for all these things. So we host our data on our own database, on our own data center. So the verticals that we serve as IT, enterprise IT solution, are 50 plus verticals we support. So here, the last one, if you see, that is the banking vertical, where we help you with the application availability, application performance, your end-to-end ticketing system, your end-to-end endpoint management, as well as your authentication, identity and access management. Now, when I talk about ManageEngine's portfolio, it has 6 wings. So when I say 6 wings, the first one starts with your service management. So you're building your CMDB, making an inventory, putting all those assets together, understanding what I have, and then running the entire life cycle of your ticketing system. We do that with service management. Then we have endpoint management, unified endpoint management, which helps you with managing and controlling all the endpoints, mobile devices, laptops across different vendors and platforms. Also helping OS deployment, helping patching, helping the EDR system altogether. We do that with endpoint management. Then we have the IT security management, where we have the SIEM tool, to give you the security aspect, security posture of it. We have identity and access management for your access, privileged access control, Active Directory audit management as well. We have operations management where you can typically do the DCIM part, the ITIL part. So ITOM is part of ITIL. So when you mix your ITSM and ITOM, that gives you the ITIL, right? So we can go ahead with the entire infrastructure monitoring, application monitoring, health and performance, bandwidth management, all those things with operations management. And the last thing is analytics. The analytics is the one which gives you the visibility of what is happening across the organization with respect to your role. That means your CEO want to see the data in a different way compared to your IT admin. The business, the intelligence comes in a different way for CEO versus your IT admin, right? The SOC team wants to see the data in a different way versus your NOC team. So to create appropriate dashboard by pulling data from various tools that you have from various vendors, the Analytics Plus helps. Now, moving to my topic towards like what an enterprise IT, enterprise business actually needs. So when you are running a business, you have this IT team. These IT team members are humans, right? We have the IT admins as humans. But the idea here is what we want to maintain the business continuity with optimum performance. Optimum performance, when I say what optimum performance we want to have reliability towards the system that we have developed or we have orchestrated. When I say system, you have your physical, virtual and cloud platforms now, right? You had the legacy things on your on-premise, which you may or may not be able to remove because of regulations, and you have adopted cloud. When you say cloud, you have multi-cloud, you have hybrid cloud, all these systems. Then you also have this virtual infrastructure. So putting all these together, I want to make sure my business continuity appropriate with appropriate performance. You do not want a time bomb in your organization, which is like the day you want a server to be performing the best, that day it will go down. You do not want that. So I, as a network admin, I have to maintain all these things with all these complexity. The modern IT stack is super complex. If you agree or don't agree with me, let me tell you this example. We had a system taxi. You go to an airport, you go to prepaid taxi, you book a taxi, you go to the destination. But today, how many of us do that? We go Uber and we leave, right? Majority we do that. That is a transition. Now, Uber want to have all those performance as per the availability of those kind of cabs they have based on the scalability of the number of people will come for a particular period of time, right? That is unpredictable. Now, the complexity of the backend, you have earlier we had the monolithic approach. Now we have heterogeneous network with all these microservices, we have cloud, we have virtual, all these things. So the modern stack is super complex with the traditional mindset of the teams that we have created. We have a developer team, we have a testing team, we have a IT team, we have within the IT team you have server team, you have different teams. So the data is actually the visibility towards what is happening, all these things, the visibility is low because of this siloed structure of teams that we have formed, right? Now, the expectation versus reality when I talk about, my expectation is that I want a single view where I can, if there is a problem happens, I can have cross-domain insight, I can have contextual information rather this transactional information. I can also have instant troubleshooting, the reduction of the MTTR, that is my expectation. But the reality is different. When there is a problem happens, if the app is, the URL is slow, the application is slow, you go to the server team will say, no, nothing, no problem with me. Go check with the network team. Network teams, no problem with me. Go to the security team, right? The blame game, the teams that you see, the NetOps, DevOps, AppOps, your InfraOps, your SecOps, the problem rotates within all these siloed teams, right? But my expectation is something single view, cross-domain information, all these things. So how should I approach to this? So in the past, it used to happen that if there is an application, the application owner had very less control to that application server. So the demand from the application owner used to be like to the IT admin, they'll say, make sure the server where I'm hosting this application is running fine with regards to CPU, memory, hard drive. But the current reality is completely different. The application owners have a lot of control towards that application because they might be hosting it in the cloud. They might be hosting it in multiple servers, right? The application owner has a lot of control. The demand of the application owner to the IT admin is completely different. Make sure all these things are happening right. The CPU, memory, hard drive is no more the reality here. They want to have the scalability, the elasticity, all these things to be ready based on this diverse requirement that is coming from, right? So the solution here, the solution is full stack observability. Why? So we have to move towards observability to achieve that expectation that I told you. So with this particular note, what is observability? The Gartner, we all believe the Gartner, right? What Gartner says, what is the definition by Gartner? Gartner says that the evolution of your traditional monitoring should progress in a way that it should give you better insight into your business application, speeds the innovation, and enhances the customer experience. That is important, enhances the customer experience. The panel we had here earlier, Mr. Matthew mentioned about this thing. The experience of the customer or employee that matters. No matter how the machine or the cloud, all these things, the resources that are working, that doesn't matter. What matters is digital experience. So when you log in into any portal, let's say you go to Amazon, you select the product and you are making the payment fails. Amazon loses you. Agree? So experience matters. So for that, how do we achieve this? So we have these teams, right? NetOps, SecOps, DevOps, InfraOps, all these things. So when I put it into full stack, I should be able to observe few things like application performance, data center, cloud, business outcomes, end user experience. I should be able to observe them. I should be able to engage with respect to end-to-end correlation, contextual visibility, validating and prioritizing what issue to be taken care first. And then I should be able to act quickly that what kind of things I have to automate or what kind of things I have to remediate quicker. All those actions should be done. So when I put this together, that is my full stack. Now, how do I do this? To gain the insight, first thing is we have to bring everything together, bring the infrastructure together. So my discovery of identifying what is where, physical, virtual and cloud, application services, microservices, I have to be able to bring them together, including my network devices, and then identify the relationship, the CI/CD relationship, how they are connected. Why do I have to do that? Because if there is a problem happens, how many other, let's say I have a database which is hosting 10 applications. If the database goes down, that means all 10 applications are down, right? That is top to bottom impact. Now, root cause is like one of the application is down and you analyze and identify it is because of the database down, then you understand that, okay, one is down, that means other 9 would have been down. So you act quickly. So you have to have this appropriate CI/CD relationship and then determine which part of your service delivery chain is impacted and you act on that particular thing. That is how we have to be able to approach this full stack. Now, when I talk about this full stack, let me take one of the journey of a bank. When I talk about this journey of a bank, we are all aware about these terminology. Like I have online banking application as a front end for my customer. And then I have the backend application could be hosted on cloud. And then I connect to my customer data through some SaaS probably. And then I do all the transactions via secured on-premise devices with all zones created. And then backend cloud hosted system gets updated. Now, this is one life cycle I have. Now, with this life cycle, if in a typical problem scenario, if there is something down, maybe on your net banking, maybe on your mobile wallets, maybe loan calculator, maybe on trading, if any problem happens, a typical behavior of this banking infrastructure, that the single application that you have might be hosted in 100 or 1000 servers. Your internal auto scaling occurs in different UPI transactions that is happening, and then highly distributed user database. You have users across. I remember when I traveled to Netherlands, I was paying my friend through PhonePe. Can you believe this? I was sitting in Amsterdam, I was making payment to my friend through PhonePe, which was very much difficult for me to log into the portal because it will send me the OTP and OTP will not come, my phone number is changed. I don't have to. So this is distributed customer base that you have across the globe. I make many of my payments whenever I'm abroad through these UPI payments. So all these things are, when there is a problem happens, how do we see how many so how do we approach all these things? How many payments are processed during a period of time? We have to monitor that. How many transactions are performing poorly? We have to monitor that. We have to also monitor the certain crucial application related metrics, which metrics has to be monitored. When I say metrics, there are some golden metrics as well. These are the golden metrics that I have to understand, that what is the throughput happening, how many requests happening, what is the response time per transaction, and what are the errors and discards happening. I have to have these metrics on my eyes all the time. If there is a problem, it could be due to buggy codes, or it could be due to bandwidth choke, or it could be due to attack. The API thing we were talking about, 60% of the attacks that happens to the banking institutions in India are just because of DDoS attacks. Can you believe this? It's a basic attack, that is a denial of service. That is the 60% of the attacks happen, and that happens for this API transactions. You go ahead and identify these reports from Government of India. And then the complexity. So why do we need the full stack visibility? Is because the IT is complex. We know that. The IT is dynamic. You are growing, your infrastructure is growing, your business is growing. The IT is also distributed, and IT is siloed. Agree with this? All these things are distributed. Now, if I have the full stack observability, what can I achieve? What can I expect is better event correlation, better outage prediction. If there is something going to be a problem, I look for that, I fix it now. I don't wait for the problem to come. And I can have better business intelligence to go ahead and identify the capacity that I need, how much investment I have to do prior to something happening in the future. So from ManageEngine, what do we offer? We offer this Op Manager Plus or Site 24/7. It's the on-premise or the cloud version of this observability platform that we have, starting from your network performance monitoring, bandwidth and traffic analysis, your configuration management, end-to-end configuration management of your, it's a DC, it's kind of a disaster management system. If there is a problem, you just roll back, you're recovered. It's a kind of your, what kind of thing? Your data center goes bad, there is a flood happens, you want to roll back to a previous state, how soon you come back is the configuration management, firewall log analysis, as well as your application performance, IPs, switch port monitoring, and storage monitoring. Then the final thing from ManageEngine, this is the whole portfolio where Service Desk Plus is your ITSM tool, sits at the center, integrates with all these tools from ManageEngine together to make your entire infrastructure monitored appropriately, managed appropriately. So with that, I thank you for your time. And again, I thank you for taking us from that India, the frightened kid, to this confident person who just don't have to go walk into the bank and do all those things. Thank you so much.